Hi everyone. Acutely aware I'm standing between your drinks now, so I will try and be as punchy as I can. I would guess that probably a lot of people in the room are not familiar with Sage or the work that we do, but I would bet that as I tell you a little bit more about what Sage does now, that you'll see that Sage touches all of your lives. So I'm also not a digital marketing tactical expert. I've got a brilliant team with me, and as my team's grown, my distance from the actual tactics has grown a little bit as well. So what I'm going to tell you about today is a lot about the philosophies and our approach as a B2B marketing team. So I'll start with a bit about me. Robina mentioned it a little bit earlier. I don't come from an industrial digitalisation background. I come from something slightly more glamorous than that. So it was a big leap of faith for me to leave the industry where I'd worked my whole career to join Sage. But what I loved about it was that I'd sort of worked for premium hotel brands and had the privilege of living on an island, which was an amazing experience. But I was really looking for something different, and as I was approached by Sage and taken on a bit of a tour of the business, I just fell in love with all the stories that we could tell around the work that we do and how it changes people's lives. So 13 years later, that's where I am, and I'm really proud of I guess what we've achieved as an organisation and also growing our marketing team in that time. So now I'll introduce you to Sage, particularly for those who aren't familiar with our business. So we work in a range of industrial environments. These are the main sectors in which we operate. Water is a big part of what we do, and we've recently put together these statements which are designed to be sticky in the minds of our customers, stories that you can't forget, such as us being involved in the manufacture of every Tim Tam in Australia. So things that sort of help people to sort of understand the variety of the work that we do. But in most of these sectors, we hold a really prominent place as a key suppliers. For example, we're on the water panel of every water authority in Australia, which means that we're in their top 3 selected organisations to do work on their technology. So we're really privileged that a lot of our customers are really dynamic organisations that are really shaping the world that we live in. So here's some more specific examples. This is a submarine lifting technology. You can imagine submarines are a fairly high value asset for the military. They do need to remove them from the water for maintenance at times. And this lifting technology balances it, so there's no twisting of the asset. Very complex project. That's from Henderson in WA. Still in water, this is the Australian Institute of Marine Science. So this is a research facility in Townsville where our systems there control the salinity, the temperature, the level of light, the level of water movement in order to do research around the coral life, which is obviously a very important asset for Australian tourism. Still in water, this is a little bit of a less glamorous part of our business. This is from Bolivar Water Treatment Plant. So we're involved in all elements. There's the one link that all of you would have some way involved in the technology that we produce. This is the line enclosure of the Werribee Zoo. Obviously pretty important that we have the automation right there to make sure that the gates are opened and closed at the right time. We do similar work across the prison system. This is ANSTO, which is the Australian Nuclear Science Technology Organisation in New South Wales. They produce a drug which I'll never be able to pronounce, but it's known as Molly-99, and it's involved in the early detection of cancer. The Sydney Harbour Bridge, if anyone's ever been over the Sydney Harbour Bridge, you'll know that they change the lanes and the tidal flow of the traffic depending on whether it's an inbound in the morning or outbound from the city in the afternoon. We control that technology as well. Slightly less dynamic, this is driverless vehicle. We've been involved in a number of driverless vehicle trials in South Australia, and the first actually on a walkway which was down at Holdfast Bay a couple of years back now. And this is Tim Tams being produced, back to that story I mentioned just a while ago. And the last one here, this is Chemring, which is a countermeasures manufacturing facility based out of Lara in Victoria. They produce the flares that are deployed for military aircraft, and it's a highly volatile environment. So obviously this was around a safety system and keeping the operators well away from the highly explosive materials that they use. So from all of that varied work, we've developed a positioning statement which is Smarter Future, Better World, and we have a greatly varied customer base. So we're currently in our marketing department at the moment understanding what our digital customer looks like, and what we do know is that landscape has changed a great deal in recent times. So we have a one-click expectation. Our customers too, even in a B2B space, have that expectation. So it's more critical than ever before that we're sort of capturing and converting every website visitor. So what we understand is that we're no longer being compared with with just our peers. We're being compared with some of the best digital experiences in the world, which is a real challenge in a B2B environment where we have such a diverse customer base, we have such diverse needs. We deal with customers at the C-suite right down to an operator level. So it's incredibly complex for us to be able to serve up information to them that is highly relevant. Again, with personalisation, we spend a lot of our time cross-selling within our organisation to customers about new capability and the other parts of our brands, which I'll tell you about in a moment. But we all know that customer acquisition is not getting any cheaper, and so I guess that from our perspective, we have to be really smart, particularly with the industry sectors that we're trying to reach at the different levels with the different parts of our capability around being really effective and securing customers that are going to have an interest in multiple parts of our business. So we spend a lot of time on understanding our customer personas, which was a really hard term to sell in an engineering firm. It was a little bit too marketing for most of our internal people. But I think once we sort of started to explain that they have different needs, they have different problems that we're solving, and we started to align that, I think that we've really been able to, as a marketing team, I guess, demonstrate how that's really getting traction in understanding. This is one of the ways that we're engaging our customers in a digital perspective. So this is what's known internally as our NOC and our SOC. It's a National Operations Centre and a Security Operations Centre. So we remotely monitor mining operations, those automated vehicle trials. We monitor all sorts of technical operations out in our customers' environments that help us to support them 24/7 and identify when machines are operating outside of normal parameters and help them to get back up online if things have failed. This is also one of the channels that our customers can engage us directly. We've got a fleet of over 100 vehicles that service our customers 24/7 and can be out into their operations really quickly. But this is where we can actually dial straight into their systems and help them to solve problems. We're currently in the process of integrating all of our systems. I just realised, and achieving one view of the customer. So I'm about to talk to you about our brand structure, but our brand structure has evolved over a number of years, and at the time we made the best decisions we could around the platforms that we were using based on a new brand or a brand that had been acquired. What we're currently doing is combining our 7 HubSpot instances into one, which is a big, messy, awful data project, but we're getting through it, and integrating it with Salesforce, which is a new CRM. So as we've set up all these new brands, we've got 5 different CRM systems, we've got 7 HubSpot portals, we've got customer data all over the place. So we're currently going through that process to bring it all together, which is a really, it's an awful project to be going through. It's not a huge amount of fun, but the light at the end of the tunnel is extremely appealing across our business at the moment. So I'll now take you through a little bit about our marketing strategy, but I can't do that without telling you what our overarching business strategy is. So a couple of years back, our managing director had this fabulous idea to double the size of the business in 5 years. So it's taken us 25 years to get to a $110 million business, and he wants to double it in 5 years. We're actually a couple of years into this strategy now, and I'm really pleased to say that in almost all of those measures, we are on track, which is really exciting. So we're at 640 people at the moment, and our revenue's around 170 million. We're in two countries currently, with talks with a number of companies in the US at the moment. So it's a pretty dynamic time to be, leading the marketing team in this space. I will just explain, I guess, what the One Stage means there. So we've got a complex suite of brands. The One Stage initiative is around getting 100 of our customers using 3 or more of our brands. We're currently sitting at about the 25 mark, so we've got a little bit of a way to go there. And the measure around industrial digitalisation is just really about, we really want to own that space, and it's a term that we're sort of using in all of our marketing to really describe the environment that we're working in across multiple sectors. So we're a house of brands. We've got our umbrella brand being Sage Group, which we pretty recently stood up actually, just as a way to sort of bring all of our offerings together. And then we have our 4 core service brands. So Sage Automation, which is our legacy brand, historical brand, where the bulk of our business comes from. So I'll explain it to you in the view of a manufacturing plant. So let's picture we're looking down on that Tim Tam factory. So Sage Automation deals with all the automation on the factory floor and all the machines that are, running the conveyor belts and doing all of that sort of thing. Newcon is our data analytics business that we acquired about 5 years ago. Newcon takes all of that data off the factory floor and puts it into an environment where the enterprise can make business decisions based on all of that data. So that connects things like the manufacturing plant with the supply chain and with sales orders and things like that. Skills Lab is our training business. Skills Lab is a registered training organisation. It started out from some equipment that we created in order to upskill our engineering graduates and get them work ready quicker, give them an environment where they could play and hone their skills in a hands-on environment, and make them project ready a little bit quicker. Now it's a registered training organisation. And we've got a number of things from, a diploma in applied technologies aimed at more of a school leaver, right through to some pretty advanced robotics type of training. Embedded expertise is one of our most recent additions, and it came about from our customers just pinching some of our best engineers to come and help them deliver a project and be embedded in their business for a period of 6 months or 12 months to deliver a project. It was obviously leaving big holes in how we internally train and how we deliver our own work. So that's where embedded expertise was born, and essentially it's a specialist contracting business. So we recruit professional project contractors, anything from cyber, project management, engineering, that sort of thing, and embed them into our clients' businesses. So most recently, we've also stood up a number of digital products. So quite different to our service business. These digital products have been incubated and developed within the business. Obviously very different in how we market and promote them. So Tillit is a piece of software which orchestrates all of the quality controls in a manufacturing environment, and it really is a no-code software product that replaces a number of alternatives that are $1 million, 12-month projects to embed. So they're having a lot of success in the food and beverage manufacturing side of things at the moment. AdInsight is a software product that we purchased from the South Australian Department of Transport last year, I think it was, and it controls all the traffic data and brings it into the traffic management centre. So AdInsight's actually used by every state road authority in Australia. Sage Edge was something that we developed as the state government were developing AdInsight, and Sage Edge is a device that's along the roadside, and it picks up Bluetooth Bluetooth from your mobile phone as you're driving past, and it's what feeds that data into predicted travel times. So when you see it's going to take you 12 minutes to get from A to B, it's that data from the cars that have just completed that that's feeding into that. So you can see that the complexity around the industries that we work in and our offerings is huge. And that customer, engagement varies from multiple year government contracts right through to someone's having a technical issue with a machine on their factory floor and needs some support on that. So there's no one size fits all as far as our marketing strategy. So I'm going to take you through what our strategy looks like now. So if you picture, I was sort of told that our business strategy is that we're going to double the business in 5 years. It kept me awake a lot thinking about how we were going to adjust our marketing, how we were going to suddenly support a company that was looking to double its size in such a short period of time. We had a bit of an idea that we needed to obviously streamline and consolidate, but we engaged a consultant who helped us come up with something that seems extremely basic now that I put it in writing, and it's basically just the collection of our brands and our capabilities and the industries we work in are far too complex to scale our marketing the way that we were doing it. So what we devised was from that house of brands that we really needed to change our approach, and that is that we're going to be focusing on Sage Group's capability rather than individual brands and serving those to each industry in a way that's really tailored to them. So the way that we are positioning it is around our integrated solution, and that it's really not so much of a revolution, but an evolution of the way that we're sort of currently operating. And we're sort of helping our customers to understand that digitalisation is a part of where they're all needing to head to compete and to serve their customers, but that it's just a one step at a time thing. So we've found that in talking to customers that haven't done much digitalisation, they just don't know where to start, and it's quite an overwhelming sort of thing. So we've broken it down into a way to make it a little bit more consumable. So we developed this digital key, being these are all the the keys to digitalising your business. So with Sage Group being where we look at the horizon planning and strategy, with Sage Automation being getting that data off your operations, whether it be a water asset out in the field, to manufacturing, or to a device across any of our industries. And then Newcon is where you take that data and make really informed business decisions, and your enablers are your operators, trained to be able to, get the most out of the technology, and do you have assets to be able to bring in experts when you need it. So I think this has helped, it's helping our customers to get a bit of a view of all the sorts of things that they need to consider around digitalisation. It's really helped our own people to be able to talk to customers about what else we can do to help them. So I'll talk now a little bit about our digital marketing, and we've got a number of philosophies that guide the way that we deliver our marketing. The first one being that our go-to-market approach is as Sage Group by industry sector. The other one is our blend of brand building and more activation campaigns and lead generation. Whilst I have content developers on my team, one of our approaches is to curate rather than create every single thing ourselves. And that every piece that we put out has to have a really clear next step. So if we look at the first one being that real sector-led approach, showcasing our whole group capability, it's really all about relevance. And talking about, we had this feeling that our customers really liked the fact that we worked across lots of different industry sectors, but they really don't care. They care about what you can do in their industry sector. Have you done it before? And that's the sort of pedigree that they're looking for. We found that when we started emailing our customers as an industry sector and talking only about what we do in their industry sector, that our engagement rates have doubled. So we're slowly sort of transitioning everybody to be in their industry sector, and that we're communicating with them that way. And also leveraging that brand equity. So where we're actually known to the customer, using that to sort of help talk about the other parts of our capability and where we can help them. So this is one of the assets that we've created to sort of underpin how we're sort of explaining the complexity of our offering to our customers through the lens of their environment. So somebody that works as a water authority, this is where they can see how our technology helps them in all the different parts of their operation, from training their operators to capturing the data from out in their devices, and supporting them 24/7. So. We're creating these for each of our different industry sectors, and these are used as a discussion guide. So the idea is that we don't just give them to customers so much to take away and work out for themselves, but it's designed for our business development team to actually talk through with the customer, where are your problems at the moment, where can we help you, scribble on this printed document, and help to sort of understand where we can help them the most. So the next area around, I guess, our balance between, brand building and lead generation, we're probably under the same pressures as every other marketer, is that, our business is looking for leads. It's really tricky in a highly complex technical sale. Customers just don't buy like that. They don't fill out a web form and buy a multi-million-dollar project. So there's lots of work around, nurturing that we're doing. But ultimately, our main goal is to always be brand building and to be, playing that long game of making sure that we're in their consideration set when it comes time to buy. We also have very limited ability in this space to be able to inspire people to buy things. There's generally, long-term strategic projects that sit behind decisions that they make around new technologies or, appointing a new company to come in and change their automation system. So our goal as a team, we don't talk about brand awareness. We want to be so famous in our customer set that they just can't forget about us when it comes time to make a decision. So it's not to be said that we don't do lead generation activities. We certainly do, but we know that it might capture the demand, but it's not really creating the demand. So, we do have a very complex sale. So something which is really exciting for us as a team at the moment is not just being able to share our data with the salespeople, but in doing that, it's really building some strong relationships with our salespeople. And I think working together, we're a lot more powerful than sort of working apart. So that's a really great change that we're seeing at the moment. Onto this curate rather than create. I've just put an example there of our top blog currently last year, which was created in 2019. So we have a very content-driven marketing approach, and we have even gone to the extent of understanding exactly what it costs us as a team and as a company to create a blog post. So it's definitely an investment. We've got really talented team of marketers, but we're not technical experts. So there's a real balance between our subject matter experts and how we design and deliver and create our content. I think if we left content creation to our engineers, it would be probably a highly technical piece, but it wouldn't necessarily have all the elements that we understand in marketing is going to make sure that it's read by our target audience and doing all of that work. We also, spend a lot of effort with our partners, so industry bodies and also customers that are really willing to get behind it. There's nothing better than third-party endorsement and having your customers talk about the work that you've done. We have invested in having really talented writers on our team. So a lot of our most powerful content is around the work that we're doing. So we need people that are comfortable sort of, drawing out just enough technical information to be able to get our engineering type audience to read it, but also to make it appealing as well. So then the last one is really our philosophy about everything must have a clear next step. We've been guilty, if I'm honest, of creating content because it makes us feel good or because our stakeholders are really proud of something they've done. But like I said, when we've sort of really understood what it costs us to create content and how many different audiences we're trying to reach over all those different sectors at all those different levels, we have to be really smart. So making sure that if there's no clear next step in someone's digitalisation journey or in them learning about, what they could be doing to improve, we're really trying to avoid spending any time on it. And we do a lot of testing around our CTAs and around our email messaging and that sort of thing. So we're a pretty big fan of continuously learning, but also learning on every single campaign that we deliver. And we use HubSpot, which helps us obviously to be able to sort of capture, nurture. We do a lot of lead scoring in a B2B space. I think seeing how a customer behaves on your website is often an indication that they're looking for the next step or they're looking for something new. So we use all of our technology as much as we can to understand our customers. That's it. Thank you.
Sensational. And even got us back on track on time. I'm so impressed. We do have time for maybe one or two questions. So if there are any questions for Rachel. Did I see a hand? I feel like I should randomly point at someone there. I'm actually curious about your HubSpot and in terms of HubSpot and Salesforce. Obviously having 7 different portals is unwieldy,
not ideal,
unmanageable.
Yeah.
Needs to be addressed. So, what is it about Salesforce versus HubSpot that kind of where you're looking at shifting to? What kind of drivers have led to that decision?
I guess one of our strategies is to really engage our digital customer. We had already put Salesforce in place for our field service part of our business. So it sort of made sense. We'd sort of dipped our toe in, we tested a little bit. Probably, adding to that complexity is that, Skills Lab as a training business has organisations as customers. They also have individual students as customers. So we don't necessarily want individual students in the same database as our corporate customers. We need to treat them differently. The contractors and experts that we have as customers in embedded expertise, when they inquire through a website, they generally upload personal information that we don't necessarily want there. So it's quite complex. And I think that, we evolved pretty quickly, acquiring businesses. We did what we thought was the best at the time, but I think bringing all that data together is going to be fantastic. So we've got a number of stakeholders that have been engaged in understanding what that's going to look like, and basically we're tipping one portal in one at a time, and we're doing the Salesforce integration of their multiple CRM systems in line with HubSpot. So we've got 2 brands that we'll send live in a couple of weeks to test how it's all working.
Well, that's exciting. Please thank Rachael for her time today.